What's up, everyone? I'm here with the Week 8 team builder for NPBA Season 2. So this week I'm facing up against the West Virginia Wingulls. So I'll take a look at their team. So this team is 3-4, but I think the record does not reflect the scariness of this team. He does have a losing record at 3-4. But you can see right off the bat, Mew and Mega Diancie is such a scary combo. Mew is honestly almost impossible to prep for. All you can really do is just bring a dark type. Obviously, I brought my Crocodile, but I have no clue what set this is going to be. It can be physical, special, setup, utility, literally anything. It can bring in all type coverage. I should assume it has all type coverage at all times. And after that, the Mega Diancie is very threatening, partly because it's fast. It has 110 speed. Excuse me. But also, like, it has 160 attack and special attack. So it can be mixed. It can be a mixed attacker. It's usually a special attacker, but also runs Diamond Storm as a physical move. And against my team, like, it's not the worst in the world, but it just makes it a little bit harder to prep for. I'm more scared of the Mew, I'd say, but like the Mew is pretty much impossible to prep for. Then he's got Gliscor. Gliscor doesn't really destroy me or anything, but like it pretty much necessitates an ice move or two, and it's very good against my walls because it can set up with Swords Dance and just not really care about my defensive Pokemon. And it itself is also defensive, so that's very annoying. The Rotom-Mow, I'm not really scared of Rotom-Mow, but like Rotom's always good. Crobat, kind of the same thing. I don't really think he'll bring the Crobat into a Ferrothorn Toxapex. Like, that doesn't seem very smart. So I'm not too worried about that. Registeel, it's not amazing here. I don't really see him bringing that. His first three, absolutely. Miltank, I actually could see him bringing Miltank. It's surprisingly fast with 100 base speed, meaning it outspeeds a good amount of my team. It outspeeds my Urshifu, and it speed ties my Volcarona, which is pretty annoying. But I think the Miltank will be fine. If he brings it, it's going to be there. It'll be bulky, and I think it gets Stealth Rocks, but it's not too bad. Greninja is another one I think he will bring. This thing is amazingly fast. It outspeeds most of my team. And being a dark type, it's threatening to the Latias. Thankfully, it's not the strongest attacker. Let me highlight it. It only has 103 special attack, so it's not too scary on the offensive side, at least in terms of like raw power. But it still gets very good coverage, and choice specs could hurt a lot. I think Ferrothorn walls it though. I don't think it can really do much to Ferrothorn or Toxapex. That said, it's very good against Volcarona and Latias, so something to watch out for sure. The Piloswine, I don't really think he'll bring. I don't know why he'd bring Piloswine. It's not good here, just straight up. If he brings it, unless there's something I can't think of, I don't know why he'd bring that over like Miltank. Then he's got a Druddigon, another Stealth Rock setter. This is like a defensive dragon type. Highlight its stats. It's got very good bulk and 120 attack, so this thing certainly can be a threat. Thankfully, we have the Mega Latias to just kill it if needed. But this is something to look out for. And then lastly, he has a Buzzwole. This is an interesting Pokemon. Against me, if it's Scarfed, it's very threatening to the Latias. If it's not, the Latias can pretty much just kill it. It's pretty good against Urshifu because it has such high defense. It has the same defense stat as its attack stat. That's why you see this thing run defensive so much. The flip side of that is its special defense is terrible. Its HP stat is very good at 107, but without Assault Vest, it's not going to be that bulky. Thing is, it never really runs Assault Vest because it always wants to run like Bulk Up or Roost. So it's very rare that you see Assault Vest Buzzwole. I don't think he'd bring that. And also, it beats the Ferrothorn, which is annoying, but we can pretty much wall it with Toxapex. We beat both of its stab moves. I think it gets Earthquake, but if it has Earthquake, we can pivot around that with our flying Pokemon. So I'll get into my team now. First up, of course, Megalodios. This is just 3 attacks plus Roost, so I'm running max speed, timid, that's the speed tie the Diancie, and then I've got Ice Beam, Psychic, and Draco Meteor, and then Roost. Not much to say here. Psychic, sorry, I keep going to my team. Psychic is just kind of the main stab. It's going to do a lot to the Buzzwole. Probably kill, it depends on the spread. And also the Crobat if he ends up bringing that. It's also my strongest move for Mega Diancie. But ideally we don't stay on it. That's more of like a last ditch effort. That's why I didn't bring Surf, because I'd rather not stay in on Diancie with Latias. However, Draco Meteor is just going to be great. It'll do so much to like all of his team basically, except the Diancie and the Registeel, which he might bring the Registeel. He's definitely bringing the Diancie because it's just an amazing Pokemon. But he could try and predict me and switch it on Dracos. So it's going to be pretty. We're going to have to wait until the Diancie's gone to use this, and he might not get rid of it, which is going to be he might not really let his Diancie die because of the Latias. So we're going to have to see how he plays around that. Thankfully, I have other answers to Diancie, but Latias is pretty scared of it. Next up, oh, sorry, I have Ice Beam too. That's just for Gliscor. It's good against Rotom-Mow. It's mainly just I want to kill Gliscor, and it's really scary. Super effective against Drotagon too. It's a pretty good coverage move in this matchup. Next up is Ferrothorn. This is like the Diancie killer. So it's Gyro Ball, Power Whip, Stealth Rock, Leech Seed. Pretty standard set in my opinion. I'm running leftovers as well, just I want more recovery. It's max special defense, max HP. This means I can live like Mystical Fire from Modest Diancie pretty well. I don't have the calc on that, but I know I live it. And then obviously I one-hit kill it with Gyro Ball, and he cannot do anything to me with like a Moonblast or a Diamond Storm if I end up switching in on that. So it's a really good Pokemon to have here. Gyro Ball will also do a lot to Crobat because it's so fast. And also Mew, if he's not running a fire move on Mew, we're pretty good in that matchup too. I have Power Whip for like the Gliscor. It's not an amazing move here. It's also good against Piloswine, but it's also there for the Greninja, which this is also meant to wall. So Greninja is also a special attacker, and this is going to be great against that. It gets low kick if he ends up going physical, but like, it's not Protean, by the way. This is Torrent Greninja. It can't run Protean, so it's not like low kick is that threatening. Because my defense is so high anyway, and it's not stab, and I have Power Whip, so I'm not too scared of that. Leech Seed is really nice here because he only has one Grass type, and it's Rotom-Mow. And, I mean, I could see him bringing Rotom-Mow as maybe like an Urshifu check, which isn't really a check to Urshifu. I don't think he'll bring Rotom-Mow, but he might just because it's like it has Will-O-Wisp, and that's like a good move in general, and it's a defogger. But if he doesn't have Rotom-Mow, this Ferrothorn doesn't really have anything that walls those moves other than the Registeel, but getting a... I mean, Registeel can't really do anything back to me, and I can just Leech Seed it and chip it down. So... although it can try to set up with like a body press thing, but then I can just come in with like something else and just attack it. Now, the more I talk about it, I actually just thought of this now, that Registeel could be a problem with the Ferrothorn, so if he sends it in, I'm probably going to have to switch. Likely into the... Oh, sorry, Stealth Rocks is Stealth Rocks. I don't have to talk about that. But I would likely switch into something like Crocodile. So this is an Intimidate Choice Scarf set, pretty standard. I run this set a lot. I think I've brought Crocodile all but 1 week, maybe. So the Choice Scarf is we're fast enough to outspeed, I think, the Crobat. I might be wrong on that. We definitely outspeed the Diancie and the Greninja. I don't know if I made it to outspeed the Crobat, but we are Adamant Nature with Knockoff, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Fire Fang. So Fire Fang is specifically for the Buzzwole, because he resists my other moves. Or not Stone Edge, but Stone Edge isn't that strong against it. Anyway, the Fire Fang was a random move. Ignore that, it's just for the Buzzwole. But I've got the Knockoff, it's going to destroy Mew. It's going to be pretty good against like Rotom, Crobat, Registeel. Pretty much Knockoff is good against everything except the Diancie, and then for the Diancie, I've got Earthquake. Stone Edge is for, I guess, just for Crobat, just so we don't get, just so like if it's a defensive Crobat, he can't like take a Knockoff, Roost, and then I can't do anything to him. Stone Edge is nice for that, as well as like Piloswine if he brings that for some reason. So Stone Edge is pretty nice here as well. There's not a lot to say about Crocodile at this point. I think I run this set like every week, like knock off Earthquake, Stone Edge, and then like maybe Close Combat or Fire Fang or something else. Maybe it gets like Aqua Tail. I've never run that though. Regardless, Crocodile is pretty good here because I can outspeed that Diancie with the Choice Scarf. I think it's a great Scarf user. It's one of my favorite Pokemon this season actually. So it should be pretty nice here. Next up, another Scarfer. You see this duo all the time. Crocodile, Urshifu, both of them with the Choice Scarf. And it's because of that Mew and that Diancie. I mean, they're just a little bit too slow. At the same time, with that Scarf, they're going to hit so hard. So it's max attack, adamant, Choice Scarf, speed to outspeed stuff. And now that I think about it, I think these both will outspeed Crobat, because I definitely want this to outspeed Crobat. Will he bring Crobat? I don't know. I don't think he will. Looking back, I think he'll bring Mew, Diancie, Gliscor, Registeel, Greninja, Buzzwole maybe? I don't know. It's hard to predict because he has so many things that do different things, that do like the same thing. Like he has multiple Stealth Rockers, he has multiple Defoggers. He definitely brings like, he doesn't have a lot of offensive threats, but he'll definitely bring like the Diancie and the Mew, and probably the Greninja. Anyway, Urshifu's good against this whole team. Surging Strikes kills everything except for Druddigon and Rotom-Mow. And for that, I've got Close Combat, and I don't think he has a great answer to this. Maybe like a defensive Buzzwole could be annoying, and I can just Surging Strikes it because he can't do too much to me. Although it could be annoying to have a defensive Buzzwole here. Obviously, I've got the answer to that with Aerodactyl, but Choice Scarf, Rapid Strike, Urshifu can just one-shot the Diancie. If it's not a defensive Mew, I don't know the calcs on this, so I'm not going to say I can one-shot Mew with Surging Strikes, but I can definitely do a lot if needed. I'd rather not stay in on Mew just because if it's Scarfed, we'll take a lot from a Psychic. But it's also great against Gliscor, specifically because Gliscor often runs Substitute, and if he's got Substitute up, I can Surging Strikes and break the sub and still deal damage to him, so that's really nice. And for the rest of his team, sorry, Greninja resists Surging Strikes. Obviously, I'd use Close Combat there. But I have U-Turn. U-Turn he's actually kind of weak to Bug. Rotom, Greninja, Mew, all are weak to Bug, so U-Turn's actually pretty good here. And last, I could run Ice Punch, but there's actually no reason to because Surging Strikes is stronger. So I just went with Drain Punch, and that's just to get extra health back if we're facing the Miltank or Registeel in kind of like a battle of attrition, or the Piloswine, which he probably won't bring. So, I mean, you'll see me clicking Close Combat way more, but Drain Punch is just there as the fourth move, kind of like Crocodile. Fire Fang's just there. If I need extra health, I'll use Drain Punch. It's not likely. Next up, I've got a Choice Band at Aerodactyl, so I'm triple Choice Lock this week. See how that works out. But it's pretty much what you'd expect. Earthquake's good for the Diancie. I think it actually one-hit kills, unless he's like defensive Diancie. I think it even kills max HP. It just doesn't kill max HP, max defense, which why would he run that set? Anyway, Choice Band Earthquake for that, also good against the Registeel. And then Dual Wing Beat's going to be able to do it, just one-hit kill the Buzzwole, as well as just be our main stab move against like Mew, Gliscor. If ideally not Gliscor, but Mew, it'll do a lot. Greninja, it'll do a lot. And we actually outspeed the Greninja, which is the really nice part. We speed tie the Crobat. I am EV'd to speed tie Crobat. And for Crobat, of course, I have Stone Edge, which should just be a kill, unless he's super defensive. And lastly, Ice Fang. So Ice Fang is specifically for Gliscor, because Gliscor just completely walls this thing. Sorry about that, some random person on Facebook just popped up. I don't even know who that is. Anyway, I had to close that. Ice Fang here is for the Gliscor, as well as like the Rotom-Mow. I think Dual Wing Beat's a bit stronger. Let me think. No, Ice Fang is stronger. So yeah, Ice Fang's also for the Rotom-Mow. but mainly it's for the Gliscor, because Gliscor would completely wall this thing otherwise with its insane, what is it, 125 defense? Yeah, it's so bulky. Anyways, this thing is just, hopefully it'll come in, be fast, and clean up. It's kind of the same thing as the Crocodile and the Urshifu, but it's already fast, so it doesn't need a Choice Scarf. So instead I ran Choice Band. So I kind of had the same Pokemon three times with different moves. Thankfully though, all three of these Pokemon just do a lot of damage to him, and particularly to that Diancie. So I have like 3 things here that can really handle the Diancie. That's why I think this Latias will be pretty good here. He can't really avoid 4 Pokemon on my team. Lastly, I've just got Toxapex, Recover, Toxic Spikes, Scald, and Baneful Bunker. So Toxic Spikes are very good here because he has no grounded poison types. Therefore, he has a poison type, but it's Crobat, so it's not immune to the spikes. Therefore, I can poison the Mew if he's some like annoying setup set. I can't stop any of these 4 Pokemon because they're all immune to spikes, but they're all immune to Toxic Spikes in one way or another. But it'll stop the Miltank from really staying in. Same Piloswine, Jordagon, and especially Buzzwole. This was mainly a check to the Buzzwole. This last slot, it was kind of a last-minute switch to Toxapex. I think I was just running Ditto before. Honestly, it might be the right move. I just didn't run Ditto because that'd be a 4th Choice Scarf, or a 4th Choice item, which just seems wrong to me. I don't really think I want to lock myself that much, because Ditto is really only viable with Choice Scarf. So having Toxapex here, it's another just option to wall stuff. It's especially defensive, not physically. Even though I meant to wall Buzzwole, I think I'm going to be okay with that. It can live hits from stuff like Greninja and Mew then with the specially defensive. And then Scald is going to be great against Gliscor. And what else do I have Scald for? Oh, the Registeel. So we can't try and do anything with that. I'll be honest, it's not the most useful thing here, but if I need to stall him out with Toxic, it's going to be really great. So anyways, I'm going to fight that battle right after this. If you made it to the end of the video, I just remembered last week I did not post a team builder. I think it was last week. That's because I had an audio issue, but it should be resolved now. And yeah, so I'm going to get the battle done pretty soon. And thank you guys for watching. See you.